A fun fact about Splatoon 3 is that data miners have actually been able to see the amount of people who have been participating in recent major events. Take the recent extra work event for example. Data miner Cox has shared just how many people participated in this latest event. Now, the numbers still look pretty solid, although it might surprise you that less than 1 million people participated in this. For reference, as of March 2023, it was known that over 10 million people had actually purchased the game, with over 3 million units sold in Japan in the first 3 days. Since March, of course, this number has grown as well. We don't know how much exactly yet, but I can imagine quite a decent amount. There isn't data for everything. I believe we can only get data for things where they measure the top percentage of players in the end results. So another thing we can see is big run numbers. Cox shared the latest big run numbers for the one that happened earlier on in June, and you can see it compared to past months as well. Whilst the numbers are still significantly high, there has been a major drop off recently. Now, I've seen a lot of people attribute these lower player numbers to the existence of Tears of the Kingdom. After all, it released in May, and that's when we got the Sizzle Season update. So yeah, it does seem like plenty of people would have taken a break from Splatoon 3 to play Tears of the Kingdom. But I think looking at these numbers, that doesn't account for everything. There are definitely other reasons currently why people haven't been playing as much Splatoon 3. Aside from just taking a break from the game for whatever reason, or being bored with it because it's been out for nearly a year. Personally, I'd say there's 2 major reasons why we're seeing such low participation in some of these limited time events. One reason would be that honestly, it really doesn't feel like the rewards are that worth it. You need to work pretty darn hard in extra work in my opinion, and all you get at the end is a sticker. I'm willing to bet that for a huge portion of the community, that just does not feel worth it enough. It's the same with challenges, all you get is the shell out coin, not really too exciting. And Big Run is once again the same thing. You do get a cool trophy at the end, and they did make it so you'll get more drops from King Salmonids, but overall it still doesn't quite feel like enough, and this is a complaint I've seen from a lot of players. The other reason would be that these limited time events can be kind of exhausting for players, I find. It feels like Nintendo has really leaned into the whole limited time aspect in this game in particular. The majority of the permanent modes are from past games, most of the new stuff seems to be limited time. Challenges in particular have had this as a really big problem. So combining these two, I definitely feel like it explains the lack of enthusiasm for these particular events. That is to simplify it though, it is of course a lot more nuanced than this. I'm not saying those are the only reasons, I'm sure there are tons more. But judging based off the comments that I've seen on my channel, this does explain things a lot to me. Splatfest have still managed to keep the hype I feel like, because whilst they are limited time, you still have a pretty decently lengthy time window to take part in them. They really make a big fuss out of it too. Of course, the whole plaza changes and everyone is dancing around and such. And you get all these cool broadcasts too. And then of course, the final rewards are something that are actually useful. They're things that players can use and you can't really get them any other way in the game. So of course people are going to want to participate. I definitely feel like these are steps Nintendo needs to take towards some of their other limited time events in the game, especially Big Run, which should be as hype as Splatfest are in my opinion. It should be the equivalent, and they do treat it like this in a lot of ways, but it still feels like it's lacking in some regards, especially in the rewards department. I think for extra work, a lot of people just aren't that interested in the way it plays. We saw that even though you can play in the solo queue now, it really didn't attract that many more players towards playing it. Nintendo definitely has some work to do in my opinion on these modes and limited time events if they want to get people back into the game. Let me know what you think they could do down in the comments section below though to improve them. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to comment Splat Gang down below so I know you did. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on channel notifications for more.